Hey everyone, welcome to this week's show. I know it's a little late. It's Thursday, later than we usually do, but fuck it, who cares? Well, with me this week I got Kyle, GM of Team Rocket. Oh, I don't hear you now.
Really?
Oh, oh, now you're in.
Okay.
I think you're just in and out, I guess.
Yeah, my computer's a little bit testy today.
Uh,
I'm not sporting my trophy today because this week I am the football champion.
ah, so you get a little respect because you won in a different sport. You
That's
can't
it.
you can't
Football
support the
champ.
golden cock.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I
You've been prominently displaying it compared to our first champion. So I'm not going to complain that you don't have it this one week.
yeah, I'll be back to my usual shenanigans next week, but this week I'm proud football champion.
You feel like a winner this week, so
I am. Won $1,000. Thank you,
eh,
Sleepers, Dynasty, Pretenders, whatever we call ourselves.
yeah, I don't remember the name of it. I never.
Pretenders, yeah, it's
I
Pretenders.
think we're pretenders. Yeah.
More like posers, but yeah.
Well, congrats on that win. But let's talk hockey because that's what we fucking care about on this show.
Yeah, true.
Let's talk some hockey. Let's get right into it. Fuck it. I'm pumped to talk about this matchup. Mentally bedarded, you know, has a better team than he's had in years. He's now 6-6 though. He fell short against Le Champion Team Ramrod, moving up the standings to third place, 7-3-2. What happened here, buddy?
Uh, Kyle's team just didn't show up at all across stats other than maybe like PIMS. But even like some of the stats that he did win, like power play points, 6 power play points, who cares? Like that's like a subpar week for you more than he did well. One game winning goal. You never get game winning goals for some reason. And I mean, we're talking about Austin Matthews getting his 30th goal of the year and his first game winner. And we see why you're not getting game winning goals
I got one now
when
though. Got one this week.
you got one this week. Yeah, but last week you didn't get one and he beat you with a paltry one. So, I mean, like he put up stellar numbers across the board. He put like his team just didn't show up at all. So, this was a pretty easy win for you.
I agree. It was pretty easy. I was not sweating at all. There's a couple categories that were close, could have went either way, but my goalies were really good last week, and I just like there's no way he's coming back from that. So
No.
it was
No, I
good.
mean like 3 wins, 919 save percentage. He had 0 wins, like a 4 GAA. You're not gonna do much on a week when those are your numbers.
That's it. At least like that's the benefit of having good players on your team too, though. Right? Like you're making
Yes.
their team perform to beat you,
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
So like that's why like I was happy to go with Hellebuck. I went out paid for the great goalie because if someone's gonna take goalie stats from me, they're gonna have to have a goalie who played really well.
Yeah.
You know, but good week, Kyle. Can't say I'm disappointed with the results here. I'm pretty happy about them, but I do think your team is better than 11th place. Maybe start playing like it though. But
Yeah.
Tage against the Machine, 7-5, dropping down to sixth place after taking the 8-7 loss to Fetch Me a Drink. Climbs to second place, 8-4. What happened here?
Yeah, this was a tight match all week long. There's a lot of back and forth here. I thought Travis was going to take this, but I guess like some of his heavy hitters didn't show up on Sunday because he like lost hits by like two. He lost shots on goal by two. But sometimes that's the way it goes. They both had good performances by their team, and one team inevitably finishes on top. And yeah, so that's 2 weeks in a row. Like last week, I would say Travis won a week he had no business winning, and then this week I felt Travis should have won, but then Dan ended up taking it, and that's just the way it goes sometimes.
Yeah, I thought most of the time that Travis had it, like until the end, and Dan snuck away with the win. So big win for Dan. Um,
For sure.
Tough loss for Travis. But like you said, he might have won one that he didn't deserve to, or that he had no business winning. and vice versa, right? It balances out in this league. So, yeah.
Yeah,
Paulie the
absolutely.
goalie. Paulie, I put my faith in you, Paulie. We're gonna. He's 5-7 now in 13th place. NA goalie paradise taking the win. 6-6 now in eighth. My little gripe here is this is the only match I got wrong in my predictions last week.
Yeah.
And Paulie, your team should be better than Casey's.
This is the thing though, is that Casey has good players, right? And his weakness is goaltending. We all
Yes.
know that,
Yes.
right? Like if he was able to fix his goaltending situation, he would have,
You have a good
a
team.
better team, and we would sit there and say like with confidence, like, yeah, Casey's gonna make the playoffs, and he might be a little bit of a threat. But without that goalie situation, but his players, have on weeks, and we see this in his record, carry him. And in this particular week, Sean's goalies didn't show up. Casey beat him on goalie stats, which
Wow.
is just unusual, right? So Casey's players dominated, and then his goalies who didn't perform well, but they did better than Sean's. So we see this pretty lopsided result here, 9-3.
I think you'd see a whole different Casey if he just had one goalie. You know, he was playing one
Yeah.
goalie and whoever. But Levy will be there, but he's just not there yet. Like, so it's a rough situation.
Yeah, but Casey might benefit like as soon as somebody drops out and they're willing to sell a decent goalie,
He might be
because
able to he might be able to salvage his season here. Like he's holding in. He's an eighth, right? Like,
yeah, exactly. And the right seller, because there's going to be people who are only going to keep one goalie and not two, but they have two starters.
yeah.
And if you're able to pick off somebody's second starter because they've given up on the season, you could see Casey go for a run.
The thing is, no one's dropped out yet.
No,
That's
and
great.
I think I feel like everybody is frustrated by that in a sense because everybody's looking for that piece to kind of push them to that next level.
I'm gonna have to double check, but I'm curious now because trade deadline's what, a few weeks away?
Yeah, yeah, and nobody has budged yet.
No one's budged. Like, some people might even just sell anyway, even though they're in competition, because they'd be like, maybe I could get a better stance for next year where I'm not confident enough in my team to be like, I'm going to make a run this year, right?
Yeah,
I can make the playoffs, but am I going to actually do some damage? I don't know, right? You might get that mentality too close to the deadline.
yeah. Oh, absolutely. And like I take a look at it, and there's probably two teams that kind of scare me going into the playoffs. And if somebody's looking at that and they're like, "There's no way I'm going to beat this team in the playoffs," and they may be like, "Fuck it, let's just sell."
Yeah, and it could be mutually beneficial, right? Like Casey needed a goalie for a keeper. If they want to move on that they're not keeping, get some draft picks for next year.
Yeah.
A lot of possibilities, right? So I'm interested to see what happens with the trades closer to the deadline because of how tight the standings are. I'm actually very intrigued here because you can't get anything done unless it's a hockey deal right now.
Oh, absolutely. And like it could be a first where nobody trades at the deadline. Everybody just is gunning for it.
That'd be a
And
boring day, but it'd be exciting for the league. Like,
yeah, because then we go in the draft next year and like mostly everybody's picks are going to be intact, which is unheard of in our league.
yeah. Usually there's like three or four people not drafted until like the 10th round. And
Yeah.
people have a lot of picks to spend. So and there's a couple of big teams who have sixth rounders still.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
yeah, I think Nick has two left.
Oh, Nick has two.
I think he has two.
Wow.
Like
Yeah, not only is he first place, he has two six rounders. Nick is in an incredibly strong position. Like he has the scariest team in the league this year, from from my opinion anyway.
he has a good team. I've always liked his team. His team is very good, but he has capable goaltending. He has three capable goalies right now, which is
Yeah.
a big threat, right? So
Yeah, absolutely.
Daltrey. 6 and 10th, taking the L against Sorokin D's Nuts now, 7 and 5, climbing all the way to fourth place here. Neil on a tear. What happened here?
Yeah, Neil's players dominant this week. His goaltending was good, but Daltrey's was actually better. Um, but still, Neil's players have been dominant. And I kind of I went into the records last night just out of curiosity because I want to check on a few things. And Neil right now has been leading in goals scored by a team uh, in the league for the last 3 weeks, which also ties the all-time record. So
Oh,
if he's able to pull off being the leader in goals again this week, he will have the all-time record to himself for most consecutive weeks. Which
pretty
I never
impressive.
really pegged Neil's team as like a high-scoring team, but apparently like he scores goals.
Yeah, Pasternak, Panarin, like they've been on
Panarin, yeah,
tears. Like
yeah, yeah. So yeah, good effort by Daltrey, but Neil's team is just on a tear right now, and he's tough to beat.
I think he demoralized Daltrey with that win because Daltrey didn't even set his lineup for Monday and left the shadow
Oh,
on the bench.
mistakes.
Forgot about Dre. Kyle, very big fan here. 8-3-1 in first place. Defeating Downhill. I love that. I saw this morning that he changed his name to Downhill. Uh,
Yeah,
Corey, 7 and 5 now, all the way down to seventh place. He was in first, what, 2 weeks ago?
yeah. Um, yeah, again, I did like when I was going to the statistics last night and like I didn't really realize how dominant Nick's team was until I went into the stats and saw that he was like top five in our league in every stat except for I think shorthanded points across the board. And like it's like, okay, this is why Nick is first. It's not like a fluke or like we already know he has a good team, but he has an exceptionally good team. And Corey had a good week, but again, he's going in against somebody who's the best team in the league right now, and probably going to end up first by the end of the season, at least in the regular season. Anything can happen in the playoffs.
It's yes, they both have good teams. They both have really good teams. But I like these matches myself because like you're seeing if when you match up against a guy in first, you're like, okay, I'm going to see how does my team compete against his, right? And I feel like that's what happened. And Nick edged him out 8-7. That's a close matchup. That really could have went either way,
Yeah,
right?
Corey's goaltending dominated. You got four of the five goaltending categories. But Nick's scoring is just phenomenal.
Well, that's it. Like he's got a good team. They both have good teams. It'll be interesting to see. Again, where everyone stands once we pass that week 15 and we're getting close. Because then you've played everyone, you know who you've matched up with. And then the records will be a little more impressive for some teams. Um, just so like, hey, how balanced the league is. That's really my like where I use to judge everything is that once you've played everyone. But Nick's looking to be a dominant team. Corey dropping the 7 and 5, but I still think he's a top tier team.
For
Uh,
sure, he is.
yeah, just you got to play the top teams eventually.
No, that's it. And I'm sure Corey's going to turn around, but I think he's in a tough matchup this week too. So
I think so. I think he's playing. Is it Dan?
yeah, it's Dan. Yeah,
Dan, I think. So, you
that'll
know,
be tough.
you just had a tough part of your schedule. You gotta rough your way through those, right? So,
Yeah.
Wild Husky Hockey almost pulls out his first win. He's still at 0-11-1. Took the loss to Captain Crunch, who's 7 and 5 in fifth. A 6-5 loss. What happened here?
Um, yeah, like he was winning like hard, but pardon me, Domo, he pulls out all the stops, and there's no way that Domo was letting himself lose to Braden and made probably a bazillion trades to get the man games he needed to pull out this victory. It was by the skin of his teeth. He tied in shots, he tied in goals, and like he just edged him out. And I think the big thing for him is he took 4 points on goaltending. So that was really the only reason he was able to not give Braden his first win of the year. Yeah, Braden put up some decent numbers, but obviously goaltending he did like fuck all.
To be expected. I have to
Yeah.
give Domo some credit because I'm pretty sure this is what how I remember happening. He moved the guy who was actually playing that day, and then used the pick he got, the pick upgrade, to come shopping and grab one of my pickup grades to add a guy who would help him in the categories he needed. So
Yeah.
like even that, like a lot of people would do like, oh, I got a guy playing, like whatever. But he didn't need what that guy brought, and he's like, this guy's gonna get me what I need.
Yeah. He made the right moves, you
It was
know?
surprising, right? Just because it's not a typical strategy, but Domo just doesn't have a typical strategy. So good on you, but Domo for getting that win. Um, but you made it a lot
It's
more close than it should have been.
I mean, like, I can feel for Domo. Nobody wants to give Braden his first win. Nobody wants to be that guy, right? And so I feel like if it was anybody, they'd be like prepared to suck D to avoid taking the L, you
Yeah,
know?
please, Brayden, don't put your goalies in. Like,
Yeah. Like what do I gotta do?
yeah. That'll be interesting to see how this plays out. I'm hoping he gets 0 wins all year. That would just be funny. Like all
Yeah,
time worst record. Gets the
yeah.
clock back immediately.
It'd be quite something. He still has 8 more losses in a row to go before he ties the record for most losses in a row. So
Oh,
there's
really?
still what? Yeah,
So we might
yeah.
set a few records.
He could, but he can't win a game.
No. Pat's ready to rumble. Getting back in the win column. 5-7 now in 12th place. He took down Fantasy Football is Over. 3-7-2 in 15th place. Derek. Now we know he's serious. Fantasy football is over. He's ready to focus on fantasy hockey. Probably about time. What happened here?
Um, yeah, I mean, it's 10-3, but it was a pretty close week. They both put up phenomenal goalie numbers, but actually, Nick Wiley has maybe the best goaltending lineup in the league, and it showed here this week because he took all 5 goalie categories. And Derek put up great numbers, but Nick's were just better, and that was like the big game changer here. Otherwise, players were, you know, they kind of split between them, tied in a few categories. Um, but yeah, it was nice to see Nick get back in the win category. Um, I mean, it would have been nice to see Derek get back in the win category as well. And this is just one of those matches where, you have 2 guys who have decent teams but are in slumps, and somebody has to win.
That's it. Exactly it. Like they both have good teams. Someone had, well, I guess no, they could tied, but someone
Yeah,
had to take those points away. Someone was losing those points. But they probably, I, if I recall, they just ran into some tough schedules. They got some losses were piling up because they're playing tough teams, and those matches a lot of times can go either way. Um, just
yeah,
how balanced everything is right now.
yeah, and I know like covering especially Nick the last few weeks, he's had good weeks, but he's run into opponents who've put up phenomenal weeks, and finally something panned out for him here.
Yeah, it's not to say there's anything wrong with either of their teams. It's just sometimes you run into a hotter team. Sometimes it's repeatedly week after week.
Yeah. Yeah, and like, it's not just GMing. There is a good deal of luck that goes into this.
Oh, definitely, definitely. You all you do as a GM is you give your team the best chance to win, right? And then
Yeah,
let it play out. Like
that's it.
Team Rocket, 6-6 in ninth place. They're dousing the dumpster fire here. 8-4 victories, dropping down to 14, 4-6-2. What happened here?
Yeah, my goaltenders came out. They played well. I took a couple of player categories, not scoring ones like PIMs, game-winning goals, hits. Hits is unusual for me to win. I think that's maybe my second like lifetime winning hits this year. So that was enough for me to take the win from Dumpster Fire. Happy to be back in the win column because I was on a 3-game slide. So yeah, it's a good week.
Well, good week for Team Rocket. Bad week for the Dumpster Fire. Maybe that fire sale needs to keep going. That was working for him. Um, I don't know. I don't know if the moves he made were helping him long term anyway. I think his team just got hot for a bit. Samsonov getting sent down hurts him. Uh,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
maybe
this
the
is a
streak's
week where
over.
goaltending hurts him, and I had a hot goaltending week too. So
And that just cemented his goaltending by sending Samsonov to the minors, where apparently he
yeah,
did not report.
yeah, he didn't report to the Marlies, so it'll be
He's like,
interesting to see what
fuck that.
happens.
I'm better than the
Yeah,
NHL. Not a lot of trades last week. A trend continuing again, where all our trades happen on the last day pretty much. So we'll talk about them. Uh Tage against the Machine, picking up Brassois and a 16th for Riddich and a 15th from Neil. Um, that was an ad drop, I believe, that he purchased off Neil. What do you think of this one?
yeah. I mean, it's odd drop business, right? Just looking to cement wins and on Saturday or Sunday. That's all it is.
That's it. They
Nothing
had a
wrong with it.
back to back on the weekend, so he was going to start no matter what if you picked him up. So
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, sometimes pick them up just to make sure you have them for Sunday, or you don't know if they're going to start Saturday or Sunday.
exactly. So he made the move. He's like, I want to get it done early. It didn't help him in the end, right? He still lost, but that's a good move to make. I thought so.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
This is when Domo came calling, answered my ads. Essentially paid a 1 pick upgrade for me to grab Ryan McLeod for him.
Yeah, yeah. And I
Nothing
mean,
great there.
the next one is just Domo desperate to not lose to Braden for the next couple of trades. Doing everything he can.
This is the one though. Couturier he traded for that 14th. They moved that 14th to me. Couturier
Ah,
was playing, but he needed some defensive stats, and he asked me to pick up Shabbat. So I picked up Shabbat for him. So
which proved to be a good move for him.
yeah, Couturier he got a 2 round upgrade for him. So good on him. Not a bad move for Kyle as well, trying to make a little comeback on Sunday. And he's a solid player to have to start the week, right? So then I picked up Shabbat, moved them for a 1 pick upgrade. Pick upgrade, I'm being a 14th for 15th.
Yeah.
Then again, Tage came asking for a move here. Only because Nick O'Brien wasn't answering. So he's like, if he doesn't answer
Oh,
this time, instead of moving a 17th for an 18th, he's like, I guess I'll move a 13th for a 14th. So I picked up Jake DeBrusk for him, shipped him off. He's tried really hard to beat Dan, right?
yeah.
So again, not much to say, right? It's just another ad drop sale. This one again, ad drop sale ends up being Morgan Geeky. It looks like, yeah. And then
Yeah.
this one wasn't an ad drop. This was just Nick was done with this guy. He's like, maybe I can move him, and he did.
Good. Yeah, got some value. Why not?
Yeah, yeah, that's it. He moved Kakinen out for Kakinen was done what he needed to do for him last week, and it's like I'll move Kakinen out for a pick upgrade. No
Yeah.
big exciting trades, but that's just the state of our league, right?
Yeah. Usually we have like 5 massive trades a week, and we just have not seen that in probably a good 5 weeks, I would say.
I do know though, discussions are still happening. I still
Yeah.
I still hear talk of people, right? When we hear Ovechkin goes on the block and then nothing comes of it.
Yeah, because he finally scores a fucking goal.
That's it. He's off the block. He scored.
Yeah. He'll be back on the block when he goes another like 10 games without scoring.
I think if Sean continues to lose, he might have to bite the bullet and be like, hey, now I have to make a serious change, right? So
But who is paying for Ovechkin at this point, though?
I don't know who pays for him like a lot. Some people, myself included, would pay a little. I'm not
Mhm.
I'm not breaking the bank for Ovechkin at this point, right? If he heats up
No.
though, and Sean can salvage some value, that'd be good for him. But
Oh,
how
for
long do you
sure.
wait, right? He's on pace to maybe hit the 20 goal mark this year.
Yeah, which is not
Unheard
great for
of for
him.
him, right?
Unheard of. Unheard of. 'Cause we thought he was never stopping, and apparently he's hit a bit of a wall this year. Is it because of his age, or is it because of the people he's playing with? Probably the people he's playing with.
It's probably both, to be
Yeah. Yeah, maybe.
at one point, it happens. It's just sometimes it doesn't happen gradually. You're just, oh man, I slowed down a big step all of a sudden, right? Like,
Yeah, and I think about Wayne Gretzky, you know, and people have probably heard this comment from him before. Uh, his last year, they're like, Gretz, why don't you play another year? He's like, dude, I scored 9 goals all year. He's like, that used to be a bad weekend for me. Like, and
you
like
just knew.
Gretz, he knew, like, he's like, I can't keep up anymore, and like, yeah, he used to score at least 9 goals a weekend playing. And when you go a whole year and you only score 9 goals, you're like, yeah, maybe I should hang up the skates.
Yeah, I'm losing it.
And
I'm not what I used to be.
yeah, and I don't feel like Ovechkin is there, but if he goes another season, doing that, then maybe.
I feel at this point he's so close to Gretzky's era, he has to keep going.
Yeah.
You
But
know?
like, but if he's only able to score 20 goals a year, like that's gonna take him like 3, 4
Yeah.
years. And like, is he worth keeping? Are they gonna keep him? Who's gonna like put him in a lineup? Like,
I
I don't
think they
know.
would if the price was right.
Yeah, at his price though, ooh, I don't know. Like, I have my doubts, but like, looking at the record, I'm like, oh, maybe Matthews is gonna be the one to do it. You
He
know?
is on pace, a better pace than Ovechkin was, right? Like,
Yeah, it's just a matter of staying healthy, you know?
yeah, yeah. But the thing I worry about with Matthews, he has that bad wrist, right? So, uh,
Yeah. And that's what slowed down Gretzky at the end of his career was he got a wrist injury, and he wasn't the same goal scorer that he was after that.
affects your shooting, right? So,
Yeah.
especially like he's had a couple like wrist injuries already. Matthews, he can score, like right, and I love it. I want him to keep scoring, but I don't know if he has the longevity to get there, and that's just because of the injuries he's had. Like
Yeah.
some fun
But
matchups this week. We got Team Ramrod taking on Braden. So it's a
oh,
big matchup. I've
I
been
don't
waiting
know.
all year for this.
I don't know, buddy. I don't know. Oh, this is tough.
Who do you got here?
I guess I'll go with you, but this is a very tough decision.
I thought so. Like it'd be an upset here. No, I'm going with Team Ramrod myself. I've been waiting for the Braden bye week. I love it. Uh, it's my turn, and I only play him once this year, so I only have to get through one week and not have to worry about am I going to be the one who loses to Braden?
Yeah. It's
It's
the
no
most stressful
secret.
week of the year because you don't want to be that guy.
That's it. And the longer it goes on, it's like shit. I don't want to be that first guy. Like probably the only guy at this point to lose to Braden. Like,
Yeah.
but it's an easy week for Team Ramrod. Like I said in the chat, boys, if you want my ad drops, come get them. They're available already. All of them. I got a game-winning goal already. Week's over.
Yeah.
Tage against the machine here. 7-5 now in sixth. Taking on the fantasy football is over. Um, Derek at 3-7-2 and 15. Who do you got here?
Yeah, I got Travis here. I feel bad for Derek. Um, he's got a lot of tough matchups in a row, and I feel like he's not getting a break. But Travis is a strong team. I'm gonna go with Travis.
I'm gonna also say Travis because I would have said Travis at the start of the week. I do like Derek's goaltending. I think he has better goaltending than Travis. I just Travis's team has been performing, and I'll give him the benefit of the doubt here, especially when yours hasn't really been Derek. So we'll see if his focus is if his focus being back is a difference. Maybe it
I'm
was.
not sure.
Maybe it's just
I'm
his
not sure
guy.
he's focused though. Like, did he see all those waiver wire moves he pulled off today in fantasy football?
Oh, he's still getting ready. He still has his mind
Yeah,
on football.
yeah, I kind of think so. So maybe next week he'll be tuned in.
Yeah, you know he's gonna hear this, and he's gonna call us out on it.
That's okay.
Paulie the goalie, 5-7, taking on Captain Crunch, 7-5. Who do you got here?
Yeah, I gotta go with Domo. He's willing to go to the furthest lengths to ensure his victory, and I have no reason to pick against him.
I'm gonna go with Domo as well. I think Domo's team is actually just better than Sean's right now, and I can't believe I'm saying that because Sean typically has a great team, and Domo typically just does some crazy ass shit. But he has some solid pieces right now, and
He does.
yeah, I think his team's better than Sean's right now.
I
Sean, if
like.
you
I'm
want
not
to
even.
discuss that, we can discuss that. That's fine.
Yeah, like I'm not even sure like how a guy who traded away all of his draft picks ended up with such a solid team. But he's done a lot of wheeling and dealing, and it's worked out for him really well this year.
His draft is going to be shit again next year, but
Yeah. I
like
don't know if he pulls it off 2 years in a row, but he does have a better keeper foundation now than he did last year. So that definitely is like a huge factor.
and I do like him having Kachuk and Miller. I think that's a pretty dirty duo.
Oh,
Uh,
for sure.
so I can't believe I'm talking positive about Domo's team, but I am.
Yeah.
Domo, I picked you to win. NA goalie paradise. 6-6, taking on Forgot About Dre, 8-3-1. Who do you got here?
Yeah, no, I've learned my lesson. I can't pick against Nick. It's gonna be a while before I pick against Nick.
I learned my lesson.
Yeah. Like after doing like a in depth on his team there over the last couple of well yesterday really, and I'm like holy he's the real deal. So yeah, definitely Nick.
Hear that, Nick? This guy went from trash talking like 2 weeks ago to now you're the real deal. I'm gonna pick Dre as well. I rarely go against Nick in the predictions. His team's just good. It's better. He has a better foundation than most teams. So
Yeah,
yeah. Nothing wrong with your team, Casey, except your goalies. But
he's in tough this
Daltrey,
week.
Daltrey, 6-6, taking on Patcher ready to rumble. 5-7. I don't know if Pacioretty's been ready to rumble for a couple seasons now. Like,
Yeah, I think it's time for an update.
who
But
who do you got here?
um yeah, so Patches is goaltending, Daltrey is players. Daltrey does have some good goaltending, not as good as Patches though.
He's got to
Um
dress them though.
Yeah, yeah, that does not help. So I gotta go I'm gonna go with Daltrey, even though he completely fucked up this week. Um, just because McKinnon and Reinhardt, those are two very good reasons to go with Daltrey right now. Um, and we'll see though.
They are very good reasons. But I'm gonna go with Patches because I like Patches' team, and two, like Dolce's clearly not focused on this. He's not even starting. He has one guy playing that day, and he leaves him on the bench. Like,
Yeah, yeah, not a good move, Daltrey.
not a good move. Dress your players. Uh,
If he loses this week, that's why.
that's
Because
it.
he should be easily winning this week. I mean,
The
he's in the
playoffs
lead
all
right
over
now.
again.
Yeah, yeah.
Just
You
not
got you got to
starting goalies.
you got to set your lineup on Monday, man. Like that's like the when you wake up before you even touch your dick and go for a piss, you set up your lineup.
You can do it Sunday. It'll say start for the rest of the week. It'll set next week. Like, easy.
Yeah.
All right, we got about 3 minutes to get through. We're still good time here. Mentally
All right.
Bedarded, 6-6, taking on the Dumpster Fire, 4-6-2. Who do you got here?
Um, yeah, it seems like Kyle's gone back into another slump. I played Mark last week. I beat Mark last week, but Mark's team played fairly well. So I just haven't seen like a lot of good weeks from Kyle to pick him. So I'm gonna go with Mark.
Okay. Going with the Dumpster Fire. You saw firsthand how hot that fire burns. So uh,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Plums. I don't know why. Just I was gonna go with Plums at the start of the week. Not
Yeah.
impressed with the Dumpster Fires team. Um, and if Vancouver plays well enough, then Plum should walk away with those goalie stats. So downhill, 7-5, taking on Zvechmi Drink, 8-4. This is a huge matchup, two big teams. Who do you have?
I mean, it's all in the name, downhill, right?
Yeah.
Corey hasn't really been up to par, I guess, or he's had some bad luck, and Dan's been back to performing. So, I'm gonna go with the hot team. I'm gonna go with Dan.
Going with Dan. Either way, like I think this one could go either way. It's gonna be another one of those tight weeks. I would have said Corey at the start of the week, so I'm gonna go with Corey, even though the score shows 9-3. Um, Corey lost a little bit of a slump here, but his team has been playing all right. It's just he's playing against good teams too. So uh,
Yeah.
I'll give a little faith into my often co-host here and give him the benefit of the doubt here in a matchup that's gonna go it could go either way.
Oh, absolutely.
Sorokin D's nuts. 7-5. Will Team Rocket be Sorokin them? 6-6 here. Who do you got?
I'm of course gonna go with myself. I got faith in my team. It'll be a close matchup for sure, but I think I can take down Neil this week.
I'm gonna go with Neil. Neil's been climbing the standings. I would have went with Neil at the start of the week, just based on that. His goaltending, I think, is just better. But will they play better? I don't know. On paper, they're better. I like his team. Like someone just told me that he's the most offensive team in the last 3 weeks. Uh,
Yeah, yeah,
all reasons to give Neil some faith. So I'm gonna do that, Neil. But if you lose, I'm gonna be very upset.
yeah. I just like to correct you though. I have better goaltending on paper now than Neil. But Neil, don't get me wrong, Neil's is still good. It's not as good as previous years. So, but yeah, Neil's been dominant and on the rise the last couple of weeks. So it wouldn't surprise me to see him win. But I got to cheer for myself sometimes.
That's it. You got to. You always have to.
Yeah,
Um, well, that's it, guys. We're pretty much out of time. We're gonna get cut off any second. Uh, thanks for watching. Good luck, everyone, this week. I'm not even gonna give you a fuck you, Braden, because it's just you're not gonna win.
that just hurts.
Yeah, I hope so, but he's not gonna know about it. Have a
No,
good
he
week,
doesn't like
guys.
chess.